future me, note to self, make thumbnails for the Dark Souls videos with the R in Dark Souls spray or like with a piece of cardboard or wood taped over it, and then have an N like spray painted over it. Do that. Put that in, because that'd be hilarious. It's gonna be Dank Souls. Hello everyone and welcome to
Dank Souls.
Hello everyone and welcome to Dark Souls. So, I'm very glad to bring this to you. Dark Souls is a game that I have a bit of a background with. Like Portal, I'm very fond of the Souls games. And we're going to go ahead and start a new one right now. So this is going to be fun. Of course, because I'm the one playing, he is going to be named Red. And as you can see here, I'm playing on PS3. So, my favorite thing to do with the character customization in Dark Souls is to make the ugliest, nastiest looking character you ever did see. And we're gonna do that right now. First of all, probably gonna go with male. Sometimes I go with female because it's funny, but yeah, I'm probably gonna go with a male character. Word to the wise. This is gonna be a relatively educated playthrough of Dark Souls because I have played Dark Souls, specifically Souls 1, many times. If we were to take a look at my load game screen, there's like 5 other files. 1 or 2 of them are at New Game Plus. So, yeah. Very well acquainted with Dark Souls. This is going to be sort of a my playthrough, also sort of a if you want to play Dark Souls and probably beat it, this is kind of the way to go, or at least this is the way that I go, and it usually goes pretty nicely. So we're going to pick Thief as our class. I'm also going to be trying to show off as much from the game as possible, so I'm going to pick this, the Old Witch's Ring. It's necessary for one of the NPC side quests later on, specifically my favorite NPC. It's also everyone's favorite fountain of memes. So, let's go with... Ah, yes, a big-headed thief. Perfect. Sounds good to me. Doesn't really matter skin color. Let's go with Dragon Scholar because he's pasty as hell. Hair, we're gonna make it funny. We're gonna go with bobbed. We're gonna make it bright red. Or we could do dark purple. That looks really gross. Yeah, let's go with dark purple. Looks nasty. And instead of hitting accept, we're gonna hit customize. Dark Souls has a relatively in-depth character creator. It's not on par with Skyrim, don't get me wrong, but it's decent enough. So we're gonna go with, all the way on the right here, under different, create similar face. Ew, that's a bit of a gross face. Even more gross. Ah yes. Just gonna roulette it until we get something kind of nasty. Ooh, look at those bug eyes. Let's see. We got Petrus. Anyway, you just keep hitting different, it gets nastier and nastier as time goes on. This is usually what I do. Because, this much time in the character creator, and it gets pretty gross. Ah, yes. Perfect. And that shall be our hero. Negative face. Perfect. Looks good to me. I mean, I don't see anything wrong with this if you don't. Nothing wrong at all. Looks good to me. Look at that creepy face poking out from that little hood and scarf thing. He's so gross. Let's go with it. Make sure we got everything. Yeah, Old Witch's Ring, Thief class. Yeah, we're good. Okay to start this game with this character? Heck yeah, it is. And I'm gonna shut up for the intro cutscene.
In the age of ancients, the world was unformed, shrouded by fog. A land of grey crags, arch trees, and everlasting dragons. But then there was fire, and with fire came disparity, heat and cold, life and death, and of course, light and dark. Then from the dark they came and found the souls of lords within the flame. Nito, the first of the dead. The Witch of Izalith and her daughters of chaos. Gwyn, the Lord of Sunlight, and his faithful knights. And the furtive pygmy, so easily forgotten. With the strength of lords, they challenged the dragons. Gwyn's mighty bolts peeled apart their stone skins. The witches weaved great firestorms. Nito unleashed a miasma of death and disease. And Seath the Scaleless betrayed his own, and the dragons were no more.
Man, that is an intro cutscene.
The Age of Fire.
I totally forgot it's not over yet.
Flames
Oh well.
will fade, and only dark will remain. Even now, there are only embers, and man sees not light, but only endless nights. And amongst the living are seen carriers of the accursed dark side.
Alright. And that's our intro cutscene, for the most part. So, if you didn't catch all of that, essentially there is the core soul and the dark soul that the series is named after. The dark soul goes to the furtive pygmy, which becomes humanity. At least that's how it seems to be.
Yes.
Then
indeed.
the other pieces of the main
dark
soul
side
are given to
brands the undead.
Gwyn, the Lord of Cinder, I believe he's called, the Witch of Izalith and her
in
daughters
this
of Chaos,
land,
and Nito, the First of the Dead, aka the Grave
undead
Lord,
are
I believe is
corralled
his
and
title.
led to the north.
And essentially everything's falling to crap. Like, the world's gonna die,
Where they
the
are
apocalypse is
lost
coming, everything's gonna burn.
To await the
Uh,
end of
or
the world.
more specifically, burn out. And there is a legend of an undead, which are those who obviously
This
cannot die
is your fate.
permanently, that is going to save the world, so to speak. Actually, not so to speak. Very literally going to save the world. The undead are very, interesting. Also, man, that is a gross face. Phew. Hey, dude from the ceiling. Gave us a body. This is a prison cell, not a dump. Asshat. Excuse me. Ooh, glowy thing. I want it. Gimme. There's a key. Okay, question. Why couldn't he just throw the key down here? Why's he gotta throw a corpse? Huh? Yeah. He can't just be like, hey, dude, there's a key to your cell. Here you go. Toss it. No, he's gotta throw a corpse in there. It's unsanitary, sir. Sir. Get out my face. There we go. Much better. So, and this is a mistake I see a lot of, ooh, that's a scary thing. Huh. This is a mistake I see a lot of people doing, trying to play the game like this. You can't do that. You can't. Just don't. It's a bad idea. You're going to want to lock on to anything you try to wail away on. And as you can see, these little things on the ground, messages. They're going to tell you what to do. This is the tutorial area, simply enough. Dark Souls 2 has one as well. So welcome to the Undead Asylum. The undead are basically sorta zombies, more or less. Like I said before, the undead are just people who can't die. And as such, a lot of the undead tend to go crazy, which is why most of them get brought here and locked up. This is sort of an insane asylum for people who are immortal and go crazy because of it. So, how your character ends up here, I have no idea, but, you know. So welcome to one of the core mechanics of Dark Souls, the bonfires. Bonfires are your recovery area. You come here, you get your health back, you reset everything, etc. They are very important. They also have more purposes, but we'll see those later on. So let's open this big door. Man, this place is fancy. I never noticed that you can see him up there. Hey, what's up, buddy? That is the Asylum Demon. We're not going to want to mess with him right now. He's going to jump out the sky. Blam! And then he's going to try and kill us. We want to go through this door. You can kill him the first time you encounter him. But with this wimpy little broken sword, you can see how little damage it does to the little hollows that are walking around. That's what they're called. The pink guys with the, I don't know, loincloths. That dude. Anyway, you can see how little damage that this weapon does to them. Yeah, it does less to that big demon there. So we don't want to mess with him. Instead, we want to keep going. If you try to fight him the first time around, unless you're super pro at the game and have a lot of time on your hands, you're gonna die. It's just how it goes. So we want to get this, the bandit's knife. And now we have our starting equipment. Every class has its own little gear that it gets here. For the thief, it's the bandit's knife, which gives you a bonus to backstabs and other maneuvers of the critical variety. I've always been a fan of Dark Souls' combat system. It's very intricate. It's sort of like the 3D Zeldas if they were much more fleshed out. So we got backstep, circle, or I believe it's B on an Xbox controller, is your dodge move. It allows you to roll, to sprint, and it allows you to backstep if you're not pushing a direction on the left stick. Do this little hop. R3 is target or center the camera if there's nothing to target. I don't remember what L3 does. That's the giant boulder. It's gonna kill us. And it's thanks to this dickbag. R1 is your basic attack. R2 is your strong attack. Press triangle to two-hand a weapon. Now, something interesting about Dark Souls, every weapon has a move set. It's not just class-based. Each weapon has its own distinct set of attacks. You know, this is how the bandit's knife swings, but a different dagger-type weapon will swing a different way. It may be slower, it may be faster. The actual swing itself may be different. It may be more of a little backwards-held swing. But every weapon has its own moveset. And that moveset isn't just limited to your basic this and this. There's also an attack after you roll, which is usually something akin to a stab, depends on the weapon. And two-handing your weapon also gives it a different moveset for everything. I think except for rolls. Yeah, everything except rolls. Also worth noting, two-handing your weapon slightly increases the damage it does. It also decreases the amount of strength you need to wield a weapon. There are parameters for wielding weapons, and those can be manipulated, specifically strength, by two-handing a weapon. So if this had been... I don't know what my strength is now. Start with 9 strength. So if this had been, I think, 13 strength, when I two-hand it, I can actually use it properly. If you don't meet the parameters, the weapon swings all weird. But we'll see more of that later. For now, here's the guy who dropped the corpse into our window. He seems to have fallen through the ceiling.
Oh, you. You're no hollow. Thank goodness.
Nope. I am most certainly not. And you are totally gonna die. I mean, you don't look like you're bleeding out or something, but you sure seem incapable of moving.
We're both undead. Hear me out, will you?
I will gladly, because you give me good things.
I have failed in my mission, but perhaps you can keep the torch lit.
What torch? There's no torches in this game.
Thou who art undead art chosen, and thine exodus from the undead asylum maketh pilgrimage to the land of ancient lords.
That is one hell of a saying, I must admit. I don't know any family with any saying similar to that. Also, that sounds more like a prophecy. Could be wrong, but it sounds more like a prophecy. Just saying. Also, you're just gonna pawn it off on me? Just gonna... Okay. Alright.
An Estus flask. An undead favorite.
It is an undead favorite, so why don't I have it? Like, why did I not start with one?
And this.
I don't get it till now. Odd. Thanks for the key, though.
Now I must bid farewell. I would hate to harm
Also, I
you.
find it kind of funny. If you just decided not to talk to this guy, you wouldn't be able to beat the game. Because he gives you the key needed to progress. There's no, like, lockpick skill in this game. Also, the saddest soul gain in the game in a few seconds. Yep, adds a death sound, and 100 souls. Ooh. Ouch. Anyway. Don't know why I sat at the bonfire. I don't need my health back. Save progress, I guess. Alright. Hello, you. Backstab! Ooh, bad camera. Eee. Alright, well, we got our key. Let's open up this door. And some messages. Wield right-hand weapon two-handed. Left stick plus R1 is kick. Left stick and R2 is jump attack. Kick. Jump attack. The jump attack is generally the same for all weapons. I think there are some weapons that it's a bit different, but most of the time it's the same move. Also, I believe... No, okay. So you cannot two-hand your left-hand weapon. That is a thing in Dark Souls 2, however. They actually added that functionality. If you hold triangle instead of just pressing it in Dark Souls 2, you will dual-wield your shield or whatever's in your offhand. Which is actually really cool. It allows for a bunch more playstyle changes, which is really clever. It's a nice addition. R1 while falling, plunging attack. Wonder why that's important. R1 behind an enemy, critical hit. L2 parry, repel an enemy attack. After parrying, R1 riposte. This is going to be the bread and butter if you're using a small shield like this. You're going to be doing that a lot. Also worth noting, different shields have different parry windows. Your frames where you can counter an attack like that will increase or shrink depending on the shield you're using. I believe this is one of the highest window shields in the game. Which is funny because you start with it. And plunging attack! Yeah. It's funny. As useful as that is for this first part, it's not really used beyond this. Ow. Thank you, sir. I'd like to get some bleed. One advantage to the thief style, even though he's a bit squishy, is that his starting weapon has bleed. Which, if you're not familiar with how bleed works, it varies from RPG-esque game to RPG-esque game. There are some games where bleed is basically poison. There are some where bleed is a build-up. This is one of those games. In Dark Souls, you do enough damage to an enemy, you fill their bleed meter, and they take a massive amount of damage at a time. It's sort of like Frenzy from Bloodborne. So once you build up that meter, you get a ton of free damage. It's very helpful. I am very much a fan of bleed weapons, mostly because they're very helpful in PvE. Most big bosses that have a lot of health also have large windows where you can just smack at them a few times, and they usually don't have bleed resistance, which means if you have a bleed weapon of any kind, you can get a bunch of free damage.
You, give me warm, give me soft.
Welcome to the most PTSD-inducing voice in this game. This is Snuggly the Crow. I believe that's his name. Snuggly the Crow is not important quite yet, but he will be helpful later. You can drop items in his nest, and he'll give you different things in return. Most of them are really, really good, so if you have an item to trade with him, you're probably going to want to do that. So let's walk up to this hill.
In the ancient legends, it is
Voiceover
stated
lady shows up again, and I believe this is the last time in the game
one
she
day
ever says
an
anything.
undead shall be chosen.
It's the crow! Whooshum. And we're gone. We're dead now. Bye, everybody. Game's over.
To leave
That's
the
it.
undead asylum
That's it. That's the end of the
in
game.
pilgrimage to the land of the ancient lords. Lordran.
Ah, yes. Lordran. The land of the ancient lords. My favorite. I wonder how the board meeting for that went. Like, hey guys, what should we name our land? There's a lot of lords. Let's go with Lordran. Sounds good to me. Ah. No one objects because everyone around him is dead. He's the only one to make the decision, you know. As you do. One thing I do have to admit with Dark Souls, as old as this game is, I think it's from back in 2010, maybe earlier, it still looks really good. I mean, there are certain areas where it looks kind of nasty, Blighttown, but for the most part, the game looks really, really nice. Also worth noting, Dark Souls runs on the Havoc physics engine, so does BioShock. So yeah, this game runs on the same engine as BioShock. Just let that sink in for a sec. Select to gesture. Ta-da! Bunch of them. Beckon. Come at me, bro. What else we got? Wave. That's pretty good. We got a nice little bow. Alright. And joy, of course. Woo! Just, yeah, a little dance. Alright, well, let's go talk to this big guy.
Hello there. I believe we are not acquainted.
No, we are
I'm
not.
Petrus of Thurland. Have you business with us?
Maybe.
If not, I prefer to keep a distance, if possible.
Well, screw you two.
Hello there. I realize that I have requested that we retain our distance.
That's a
But
very
I also want you to know
spiky
that it
morning
is not
star you
meant to
have there.
be
I'd appreciate if you not get
Yeah.
too close to me with that.
Take
That'd
this
be
as
that'd
a
be
token
great.
of peace.
Yeah.
Go ahead. It's for
Seriously.
you.
Just don't get too friendly. Just please
Oh
no.
my.
I'm gonna stand a
Oh,
little bit
yeah.
further away,
Oh,
so I'm not,
I know.
you know,
How about
inside of your
this?
morning
I
star.
have to await my companions here.
A little bit
anyway.
scary looking.
So what if I were to teach you some miracles? That please you?
Miracles. I would love to walk on water or heal people. That would be great.
Very well. Then first, a covenant with the gods.
Yay. So this is another one of the mechanics of Dark Souls. Covenants. These are basically RPG guilds, sort of.
Now,
Every
let me
covenant has
share
its own
my
way of going
plans.
about things.
Only their ultimate effectiveness will be determined by your efforts.
Also, miracles
and
are
your
important.
faith.
I don't know what's up with the Covenant of White. I think this is what this is called. Hey, I can shrug now. Sweet. Yeah, you'll meet certain NPCs who will teach you certain gestures. That I want. I'm gonna be getting heal. Don't buy this. Don't bother with this talisman. Whatever you do, you can get one for free in this same area. So yeah, don't bother with
Come
that.
again. The effectiveness of the teachings depend upon your faith.
Yes, thank you, Petrus. So, one of the first things you're going to want to do, if you're going to play like me, is you're going to go on what are usually referred to as the suicide runs. The interesting thing about Dark Souls is it's sort of Metroidvania-esque. You can kind of go wherever you want at first. You'll reach a lot of different walls as you progress, but technically you can go wherever you want. But there is one main path we're going to want to go. That's up there. But we're going to go on a few suicide runs first. But in order to do those, we're going to want to get rid of as many souls in our inventory as possible. So I'm going to plug a few stats real quick. Alright. Got 142. Do I have any item souls? I have a soul of lost undead. Is that it? Yeah? Okay. I'm gonna grind for a sec. Try and get as close to 0 souls as possible with another level up. How many souls do I need to level? 793. Alright. So I need 651, roughly. That's not too bad. Each of these guys is worth about 100 souls each. They also have no poise, so you can just stunlock the hell out of them. Which is awesome. Yeah, there we go. And that's the riposte. Yeah. There's 2 ways to do critical hits on enemies. You either parry their attack. There we go. You either parry their attack or stab them in the butt. That's pretty much it. Let's grab this real quick. Don't you be throwing that firebomb at me. I don't like firebombs. Firebombs are scary. Ooh, scary. Ah, I hate this. Stab him right in the butt. Ooh. Hey. Stab him right in the butt. And I see you up there, guy. Come at me, bro. Stab him right in the leg. Let's dance. Let's dance. Mm-hmm. Do my dance. Oh, come on. There we go. That puts me at about 574. So about 200-ish more souls. Alright. Let's head through here. Hey, it's a rat! Ew, I don't like rats! Kill him! Yeah! 594 souls. Let's jump off here and go back to the bonfire. do a smidge more grinding. So I think the first suicide run I'm going to want to do is probably the catacombs. Well, not the catacombs themselves, just a graveyard. Yeah, about 200 more souls. Now, come on. There we go. Shouldn't be too hard to hit. Like what? 3 more hollows? Actually, I don't think it's even that much. Well, might be a bit over. There we go. Oh, get parried. Get reposted. Repost. I don't know. 72. All right. Let's fight that first guy again. Wait, no. No, second guy is the one we want. So maybe Firebomb guy? I think he'll be enough. Come on. There we go. 72 souls, please. Yeah, just enough. I think I have 5 souls left after this, which is awesome. That's exactly what I'm looking for. So yeah, after this, we're going to make a couple suicide runs, then we'll get on the proper game. If you want to skip the suicide runs, most likely the end of those will probably be the beginning of the second video, because I'm only doing 1 hour parts, as these will be Saturday videos. So if you want to skip the suicide runs, either an annotation on screen now, or like I said, just skip to the next video. Let's go with some strength. Yeah. Alright, time to begin those suicide runs. So, first things first, we're going to want to sweep this area. There's a few items scattered around Firelink Shrine that are pretty easy to get, and some of them are pretty helpful, like those 6 firebombs. I don't tend to use items that much, but depending on what you like to use, you might find something you want. Let's head up by Petrus. Past him. There was that item up top that I got before. Over there. And now, I think... Yeah, here we go. Huh! Jump down here. Ow. And there's a buttload of chests. Morningstar and a talisman, so there's your cleric starter gear. Some cracked red eye orbs if you want to do some PvP. 6 homeward bones, those are pretty nice. And more PvP stuff. Because right here, we got 4 Lloyd's talismans. I'll explain what those do in a minute. Alright. Nope! Ow! Bad skelly bro. Whew. There's a bunch of items over here in the catacombs. Or not the catacombs, the graveyard. And a couple of weapons, if I remember correctly. For example, I believe this is the Zweihander. Winged spear. Giant skeleton. Giant skeleton, please. Uh-oh. Rolling around at the speed of sound. Got places to go, gotta follow my rainbow. Don't follow my rainbow, please. Oh god. Running for my life. See, in most games, skeletons are easy fodder enemies. Not in this game. Not at all. How did I get 55 souls? Did one of those skeletons fall off the cliff like an idiot? That would be amazing. So there's 2 types of skeletons over there, the normal ones and the giant skeletons. I think they have a different name, not entirely sure. The giant skeletons are much scarier, also much more deadly. They have this sort of slam attack with the broad edge of their sword that will one-hit me. It's very dangerous. I don't want to mess with them at all. Or the normal skeletons. You saw how much damage they did, and they do bleed buildup. Couple of hits, even if I don't die just from the attacks, I'm going to die from the bleed. So let's not mess with them. Sound good? Yeah. Let's not say we did. I'm actually surprised I haven't died yet. But we're gonna fix that really soon. Mostly because this is a dead end. That's a lot of skeletons. Later, man. Whee! I feel much better having no souls. Also, those skeletons just jump to their death. So I think that's the end of the graveyard. I might do a quick trip through the catacombs, but I don't think there's anything easily accessible there. No, there shouldn't be. Well, maybe. Let's make a quick trip through the catacombs. I'm not gonna get very far. There's skeletons and explodey things and necromancers and oh my. But let's see what we can get. I don't remember what's early on in the catacombs. Other than death. Actually, I haven't played through the... Ooh, hello! Hey, Caduceus Round Shield. There we go. This way. Anything there? Nope, just skeletons. Run. I don't frick with you. Later, man. Luckily, most of those enemies won't follow you in here, but there's more than enough enemies to kill you here. Welcome to the catacombs. Skeletons everywhere. 'Cause, you know, death and stuff. Ah, balls. Nope. Again, not messing with any of you. There's a necromancer around here somewhere. I don't know. No, just a bonfire. I certainly don't want to rest at that bonfire. Tell you that much. Yep. Ooh, they might kill me. I better be careful. That is a trap. I don't see any items. I like how I'm just wandering around all carelessly. I'm like, yeah, you know, whatever. I don't see any items down here. That's weird. Huh. Let's see what is... This is death, isn't it? Yeah, it is. Alright, that's good to know. So yeah, there's nothing in the catacombs. At least not till you can kill that necromancer, and I most certainly cannot. Where did I get 50 souls again? What the hell, game? I'm very confused. I'm just getting souls... Are enemies that eager to just jump to death? It is worth noting, if enemies jump into a pit that is insta-death, you will get the souls for that. So that's where I'm getting those souls. Because I'm not killing anything on my own. Huh. That's weird. Well, anyway. We're done with the catacombs and the graveyard for now. So it's time to, instead of going up, go down. Sort of up. Whatever. You know what I mean. Boop. Head down here. Alright, Suicide Run number 2 and 2.5 is through New Londo Ruins. Oh wait, no! Ow. There is a trick to saving yourself some time with this elevator. If you go down here, if you die, the elevator doesn't reset on its own. So if you want to do that, you do this. The elevator will go on up. It'll be back up when you get, you know, dead and stuff. So, here's where picking the thief is important. The thief's big asset is that he starts with the master key. No other class gets this. Well, any other class can have it, but only if you pick it as your gift. But because I wanted the old witch's ring, I couldn't pick the master key. So, I picked the thief class. Also, your class itself really doesn't matter. The class you pick only decides your starting stats and basically the equipment you're stuck with for maybe the first 20 minutes of the game. I'm only using the same equipment because I'm doing my suicide runs. But there's some stuff pretty early on in the first area you can pick up pretty readily available. So this is the Valley of the Drakes. We're going to be here for about 2 minutes, and then we're never coming back here, I think, again. We might come back here one more time, like halfway through the game. This is pretty much the only time we're going to be here, though. This is the one that's going to be more of a pain. Let's pick this up first. Pick this up. Yeah! And that's the undead dragon. He's very dangerous. He's also an optional boss, sort of. We're not going to be seeing him for a very, very, very long time. So we got some free equipment there, and I believe we can use all of that? Maybe? Depends. Let's find out. After we go do the last suicide run. Which is down the same way. Should also be pretty easy. I don't know how far we can make it into New Londo Ruins. But we're going to find out. I don't think we can make it very far or get much of anything important. I think most of that good stuff down there is exclusively after you can kill a dark wraith. Oh well, we'll worry about that later. And yeah, it is looking like this will be the end of the video. I'm at 41 minutes right now. I don't know if there's going to be much else we get to of importance before the suicide runs end. Because this one's going to take a little bit. New Londo Ruins are pretty damn big. There's a couple of free items down here as well. As well as an NPC that I should go talk to. He's cool. Kind of. He's a blacksmith. Soul of a Nameless Soldier. Alright. I don't think there's anything on the shortcut to Blighttown. Nothing of importance anyway. Anything in here? Nope. So as you can see, there's some hollows running around down here. Ooh, hello. That's an item. I believe that is the S-Stock. So if you wanted to be a riposting fool, but you wanted a sword, and there's your weapon. Give me this. Transient Curse. Alright. And man, the framing is bad in this area. Eee. Look at these frame rates. Terrible. Welcome to 20 FPS or less town. Trust me, there's a much worse one. Blighttown is everyone's favorite 10 FPS or less town. Ah! Bad ghosts. Ah, crap, I went the wrong way. Go across here, hopefully not die to physics. Grab a Firekeeper soul. And then jump to your death. Laters. Alright, and I think that's the end of the suicide runs. I could technically go further into New Londo Ruins. And I might, but I don't think there's anything important in there that'll be useful to us until we can actually go to the area. I don't think there's anything that's helpful now. Except for that Firekeeper soul. Speaking of, I know exactly where we're going to take that. So down under Firelink Shrine, under the bonfire, there is this lady. You can see a little lady in a cage. No response. She cannot speak. A reinforced Estus Flask, talk or leave. Talk? No response. She cannot speak. That's kind of obvious. Sorry game, that was my bad. Reinforce Estus Flask. Use Firekeeper Soul to reinforce Estus Flask? Why hell yeah I will! What does it do? That gives me an Estus Flask +1. Now what does that do? Well, it makes my Estus Flask heal more damage, which is awesome. At this point in the game, that's pretty much all my health. In fact, I think that is all my health. So no matter what I do, if I take a drink of my Estus Flask, it tops me off, which is great, by the way. It's very important. We're going to want that. Now, let's check the items and gear we got. So we got these, Cracked Red Eye Orbs, Invade Another World. Those are for PvP. Fire Bombs, do some damage, fire damage specifically. Lloyd's Talismans prevent enemies from using Estus. That includes players and PvE enemies. Certain PvE enemies can use Estus Flasks just like you can. This keeps them from doing it. There's not that many though, so I don't use those often. Transient Curses. If I'd actually attacked the ghosts at all down in New Londo Ruins, you would have found out I can't hit them. Not with a physical weapon. There's only two ways to damage those ghosts. Getting cursed, which is really, really bad. Don't do that. Or getting a transient curse, which is a temporary curse. Allows you to damage ghosts. It's helpful. Homeward Bone takes you back to your last bonfire. Pretty simple. Binoculars let you see a distance. Also pretty simple. Then there are item souls. You do not lose item souls when you die, unlike counter souls down there in the bottom right. As you can see, I'm at 0 because I've died a bunch of times. Didn't keep the 55 I got from the skeletons or the 50 I got later on. That's to be expected. Item souls, on the other hand, stay in your inventory. That's how I have them. Duh. Copper coin is a copper coin. It's important later. Humanity has a number of different functions. We'll get into most of those in a bit. And the dark sign, lose humanity and souls, and return to the bonfire. This is basically manually killing yourself. Don't really know why you would use it, because you can just jump off a ledge nearby, but whatever. Not what I meant to do. So if you hit left and right, you pull open these different tabs. These are your keys, these are your spells, these are your weapons and shields, arrows, armor, and rings, as well as consumable items, I believe, and upgrade materials. So let's check our weapons, because we got a few of those. We got the Stora's Straight Sword, which we can use. Does magic damage. It's pretty powerful. I think we might equip that. In fact, that's usually what I use really early on. Wrong button. Oh my goodness. Straight Sword hilt. Does no damage. The number on the far left there with the little sword, that's the base damage of your weapon. The blue is magic, the red is fire, and the yellow is thunder. Or lightning damage, whatever. Then the little weird white panel there that says 194 on the bandit's knife, that's your weapon durability. As you use your weapon on enemies, you do damage to its durability. When the weapon gets to about, I think, 30% of its durability, its damage decreases significantly. Then you're going to want to repair your weapon. And then finally, on the far right, that 1.0 is the weight of the weapon. Every item in the game, at least equipable-wise, has a weight. Once you exceed that weight, you drop into a different tier of rolling and movement. For example, right now, I got this big cartwheel. If I equip a bunch of heavy stuff, which I don't have much of, but if I equip some heavy stuff, like, say, this Dragon Crest shield, and the Zweihander, yeah, I know. You'll see I go into this weird, awkward roll that's usually by the community referred to as the fat roll. This is the lowest tier of rolling, outside of actually exceeding your encumbrance, and it really, really, really sucks. Just not fun. Your dodge window decreases significantly, you're a lot slower, and it just doesn't look good. Just, eh. They do pretty much everything in your power to keep you from doing this. And, you know, for good reason. If I remove those, though, boop, there we go. You can see my equip load there. Equip load is percentage based. Once you're below 25% of your equip load, you're in the top tier. Once you're below 50%, you're in second tier. And once you're below 75, or between 50 and 75%, you are in fat roll territory. Once you exceed your equip load, you are unable to roll altogether. All you can do is a very slow, generic walk. Sort of like Skyrim. I don't think I have enough equipment to exceed my load, though. Maybe if I equip Morningstar? Wing Spear? Yeah, shut up. Yeah, Dragon Quest Shield. Dragon Quest. I'm bad and I should feel bad. Nope. All I can do is fat roll. Oh well. Well, let's put on some good gear. So, the Stora's Straight Sword, very helpful. I can't use that yet? Excuse me? Right, I need 14 faith. I am dumb. Good to know. And the shield I think I'm going to want to use is the Dragon Crest shield. Yes. Am I still in top roll? Nope, I am in second tier roll. This is probably going to be my rolling speed for most of the game. Also, this is what happens, part of what happens when you can't wield a weapon properly. When its strength is an issue, you're going to be doing this. You wobble around all weird, it uses a lot more stamina than it should. It's very much not a good idea. Tends to leave you open. You don't want to do that. Period. If, I believe it's faith, intellect, or dexterity is the issue, you get this instead. Which instead of leaving you wide open, it just reduces the damage. Which is kind of good to know. So I'll probably use the bandit's knife till I get enough faith to use the Stora's straight sword. And then I'm going to be using that for a while. One sec. Sorry about that. My mouth was getting a bit on the dry side. Needed a drink. Better now. Alright, anyway. So, with all of that in hand, what else do I have? I don't think I picked up any rings. Nope. I got a couple equipable items. Gonna remove all of those. I guess I could use some souls. Got more than a few of those. Yeah, why not? There's a few ways you can use souls. Obviously, you can use them from the inventory menu here, but when you have a large number of souls, that's a bit of a pain. Also, anything that says Lost Undead, soul-wise, you're not going to want to use if you can avoid it. There's an NPC later that you can essentially sell items to. When you sell any type of soul to him, at least the default ones here, I believe he takes them for 500 souls. These two, when you use them, are less than 500. I believe this is 200 and this is 400. Anything above these two is more than 500. So it's actually more lucrative to use these types of souls, but it's worth more to save them for that NPC later. As such, I'm going to go ahead and burn a few of these. Alright, 2,000. Another 1,000. And I believe this is 800? Yeah. Also, those weren't 2,000, 3,000, and 3,800 respectively. When you use souls in succession, it's cumulative. It stacks the numbers, so. Oh, perfect. I have just enough for faith. Sweet. I'm also going to need that faith later anyway, so I'm okay with using that. And, let's go with some endurance. I'm going to need that as well. So let's remove this and put on a Stora's straight sword. And, alright, I'll take normal tier rolling. So I guess we can tackle a little bit more in this video. Ooh, you know what? I mentioned that the skeletons aren't easy. I'm going to show you just how difficult they are. Now, keep in mind, I'm using a much better weapon than you technically should have at this point. You're not supposed to be able to get the items in the Valley of the Drakes till about halfway through the game. I got them at the very beginning of the game. So this weapon is much more powerful than what I should have. Even still, it's pretty balanced because of my stats. And look at how many hits that takes. Nope. Ooh. Ooh, man, these guys are tough. Oh my goodness. He blocked my hit. Yeah, so those skeletons are not pushovers. They are very powerful. Like, very powerful. I'm gonna go get my souls back, and then I'm gonna show you how pathetic most of the normal enemies are now. They take like one normal swing. Unless they have a shield up. And then they just really don't care. Oh well. So let's make our way over here. See that open chest there? That'll be... I guess I could explain that now. That open chest is sort of a public event chest. Back when the game was new, From Software occasionally released bonus items, so to speak. I'm not going to be followed by a skeleton, right? I've had that before. And ooh! Ugh! It really sucks. Alright. I believe there's another item over here, and I don't know what it is. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, they would release sort of event items. There would occasionally be things in that chest. Oh, yeah. Nice soul. That doesn't happen anymore, so that chest doesn't do anything now. But it used to. Same goes for Dark Souls 2. There was a chest like that in the starting area as well. Let's go slap some weak enemies around, just to show how strong this sword is. Come on. Yeah, you do nothing to me. Blah! Backstab. Backstab doesn't show much. This does. Yeah, look, 1 hit. As opposed to what, 4 with the bandit's knife? So yeah, this is a pretty good weapon. It's not amazing. There's a much better weapon I'll be getting in a bit. Probably another hour or so. But this one's good. It'll plow through pretty much anything that crosses my path. Backstab! I think I might spend a separate video explaining the stats, because I could ramble on about that for hours. There's a lot of stats in this game. If you like numbers, Dark Souls is the game for you, because oh my god, there are so many numbers. Holy balls. Hey, stab this rat right in the butt. Oh, you know what I totally forgot about? There's an item under this area here. Yeah, I wonder if I can... I'm not going to be able to get that with this equipment set, I'll tell you that much. Also, I can punch with my bare hands. Alright, let's see if I can make this jump. Hoo-ha-hoo! Yeah, here we go. And this is kind of a dick move. Ring of Sacrifice. Yeah. The Ring of Sacrifice keeps you from losing your souls when you die. That's their way of saying, hey, have a good time getting back. That is not an easy jump. I just make it look easy. Trust me, I have died to that many, many times. If you fall, don't feel bad. Most people do. Anyway, about 5 minutes left. Oh, you know what? We haven't talked to this guy.
Well, what do we have here? You must be a new arrival. Let me guess. Fate of the undead, right? Well, you're not the first. But there's no salvation here. You'd have done better to rot in the undead asylum. But too late now. Well, since you're here, let me help you out. There are, actually, 2 bells of awakening.
How
One's
nice
up
of you
above in the
to tell me that.
undead
That's kind of
church.
important.
The other is far, far below. In the ruins of the
Blight
Blight
Town.
Town. Ring them both.
If you're not familiar with Dark Souls, you don't know why I hate Blight Town so much. Trust me, when we get there, you will see why. Blight Town sucks balls. I also like to call it, and so does SSOHPKC, 15 FPS or less town, because that's what it is. That's part of the reason it sucks. But we'll get to that later.
Ah, your face. You're practically hollow. But who knows? Going hollow could solve quite a bit.
Indeed it could.
What? Restoring your humanity? Well, there are a few ways to go about it. Collect it bit by bit from corpses. Or you can butter up a cleric and get yourself summoned.
Yay.
And the quickest way, although I'd never do it, is to kill a healthy undead and pillage its humanity, coveting that
Spooby.
neighbor is only human after all. What are you looking at? Don't try anything clever. You might regret it.
So there's a lot more to what this guy's saying than what he's actually saying.
Oh, that's all we need. Another inquisitive soul.
Well, ain't you a
Well,
dick?
listen carefully then.
Meh.
One of the bells is up above in the undead church, but the lift is broken. You
I noticed
have to
that.
climb the stairs up the ruins and access the undead burrow through the waterway.
AKA
The
up
bell
there.
is back down below the undead burg, within the plague-infested Blight Town. But I'd die again before I step foot in that cesspool.
Reasonably so. So, To explain all he just went over, because there's quite a bit there, for one, getting your humanity back. There's a number of ways to do it. For one, pretty much every enemy in the game has a small % chance of dropping humanity just in general. You kill it, just like you get souls, you get 1 humanity as well. Also, a number of enemies can drop humanity as an item, like what we have in our inventory here. Right down there. You can also kill NPCs, because most of the NPCs drop humanity when they die. Some of them also drop cool items. There's more than a few I'm going to be killing for that reason. So, for example, if I needed some humanity, I could go over here and kill Petrus. There's also a much more efficient way of getting humanity from NPCs, and it also prevents them from getting pissed at you. If you attack an NPC, they will attack you back. Well, after you do a certain amount of damage. Some NPCs have a larger threshold than others. For example, he doesn't care. He's totally okay.
No, I will teach. Come again.
But if I swing at him a few more times, he will get pissed. So I'm not going to do that. There are some NPCs who will get pissed at you faster than others. Be careful of that. There is a certain piece of equipment, however, that will allow you to leech humanity from NPCs. That is known as the Dark Hand. It's a drop from the Dark Wraiths, which are these swordsman guys down in New Londo Ruins. We can't kill them yet. It's going to be a very long time till we get that. However, once you have the Dark Hand, you can equip it like a shield, and I believe it's the L1 attack, is this little grapple move. You swing it at an NPC, you grab their face, you drain 1 humanity from them. Do that over and over till you stop getting humanity. And they won't get pissed at you, so long as you only use that attack. If you swing a weapon at them, they will get pissed, and they will try to kill you. That works for almost all of the NPCs, and every NPC has a different value. Some will give you more humanity than others. For example, Petrus's lady friend that he's waiting for, along with his 2 buddies, but specifically, his lady friend who will stand right about here. If you can get her to stand up and then use the Dark Hand on her, if I remember correctly, you can get about 10 humanity from her. Quite a bit, needless to say. I think the Crestfallen Warrior over here only gives you like 2. So he's not worth much. But we'll see the reason why later, because he's about to go hollow. As for getting to the Bells of Awakening, like you said, there's one up there. It's pretty much going to be the first quarter of the game. Second quarter, it's going to be going down to Blake Town, which we're going to take the shortcut through New Londo Ruins, which goes through the Valley of the Drakes, where the Undead Dragon was, and where I got my fancy sword and shield. Speaking of which, re-equip those. What else did he mention? Oh, right, buttering up a cleric and getting yourself summoned. You can use humanity as an item, then restore your humanity at a bonfire. Here, reverse hollowing. However, if you're playing online, you can get a player elsewhere to summon you, and if you proceed to help them and succeed in whatever they want you to help them with, that is, killing a boss, or you get X number of souls and get sent back to your world manually, you will be re-humanitied, so to speak. The game will turn you human automatically when you come back, which is very helpful. So that means you don't have to use humanity as an item, but I spend most of the game as a hollow anyway, because unlike Dark Souls 2 and Demon Souls, hollowing is not that big of a deal in Dark Souls 1. You can spend pretty much the entire game hollow, and the only real issue is a couple of NPCs will mention it, not many though, and the fact that you can't kindle bonfires. But usually I go on little kindling sprees, where I kindle a few bonfires that are all in conjunction to one another. But we'll get into kindling later, and it does not involve ebooks. Anyway, yeah, humanity, like he said, going hollow can solve quite a bit. You're a lot less panicked about dying, which is very nice. So yeah, you're not required to use humanity every time you die, which is very nice. It can be important, but I don't tend to worry about it. As I said, I tend to spend most of the game hollow anyway, So, you're going to be seeing that for most of the game. But yeah, I think that's going to be it. Next time on Dark Souls, we're going to make our way through the Undead Burg, and we're going to try and get to that Bell of Awakening, with any luck. I will see you guys then. Bye-bye!